Hey coach, how's it going?
Good, Zach. How are you?
I'm good. Today's scrimmage at the end of practice, was that sort of a situational scrimmage as you guys did last year, or what was the general structure of today's scrimmage?
Yeah, just kind of a move the ball. It's the first time that we've really gotten into some live situations. Most of it has just been, first and 10 stuff and a little bit of third down. So it was our first day of putting it all together and just having our guys understanding D and situations. And, we don't have any red zone offense or defense in yet. So we kind of pulled the ball back once they got there. So just some regular down situations and good stuff to learn and talk about.
And how do you think the defense sort of transitioned from or took into account the last 5 days of practice and took it into today's scrimmage?
Well, I know this. The first 5 days, it's a massive install, right? So you can see them even on Tuesday and Thursday. There was that bog down, and I thought they pushed through today, and I think they played pretty clean, right? It wasn't perfect. I love the effort. I love the energy. I love the approach of the unit. But I think the best part about now, right? We did have the fall. It isn't the first time they're always experiencing this defense or this call or those things. So you're starting to see that growth, especially with the older guys. There's some younger guys that are swimming that are good for them, and that's why spring ball is so great.
And you touched on the younger guys a little bit. Was there anybody in today's scrimmage that sort of wowed you, maybe from the under the radar younger guys?
Well, I got to check the tape, but I would say this: throughout the first six practices and then scrimmage today, I've really been impressed with Amir Crowder. Now I know he's not a young guy per se like you were saying, but his growth from last year to this year, his understanding of technique, his power, his hands, just been impressed with what he's been doing. I would say Travion Brown at the second level, he's done a good job. I mean, the kid's energy, power, leadership, and you can just see him now healthy, and then just the player that he can be. In the back end, I would think Chris Jackson's been a great add, so I know it's not a young guy, but it's a transfer guy, a guy that's trying to figure out our system, but has done a good job raising the level of that cornerbacks room, and I've been impressed with him.
And then in your room, Ben Wilson, how has he done so far on the field and sort of getting used to the system?
Ben's swimming. He's swimming, and that's a good place to be, right? And he got a ton of reps today, so he's going to learn from this and get better, get kicked down, pick himself back up, and keep pushing. So we're excited about what he's doing, right? He's obviously a little bit behind some of the guys that know, but there's a lot of growth that he's having each individual day. He's a smart guy. He's been working hard. He wants extra meeting, extra time, right? Paying attention, taking notes in the film room. I can coach those type of guys every time, right? So it's his mentality that I love. And then we got to keep growing him on the field as a player.
Last one for me, Coach. Just off the top of your head, what do you think was the defensive play of the day in today's scrimmage?
Oh, there was a couple good ones, but I would say Jalen Watson off of a sideline play. He made a great play getting the pick, and he's a hard one to throw over now, right? He's got an amazing range, so he snagged it right out of the air, and I thought that was just off the top of my head was a really good play.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep.
All right, other questions for Coach Dickert? Our coach, next one, Theo Lawson from the Spokesman Review. Go ahead, Theo.
Hey Jake, good to see you.
Yeah, back from India, I see. Right back to work, huh?
Yeah, finally. Where do you see maybe the most competition right now for starting jobs within the defense? Is it the edges, the D tackles, linebackers, secondary? If you could kind of pick one group.
Two positions, three. Okay, D tackles. Okay, these guys got to start separating themselves. We've talked all last fall. It was a group, right? And I'm starting to see some of that growth. We don't have everybody healthy right now, right? But that's a position that we need production out of, right? In a 4-4-2-5 defense, those interior guys got to demand double teams, right? They got to demand the zone concepts. So I'm excited about where those guys are at right now. There's a big battle at free safety. We moved Isom to strong. I'm getting a little bit closer to the action. So HD and Escorcia are competing every day. And then I love what the corners have been doing, right? There's no starters. Everyone's rotate, playing on both fields. Their attitudes, their mentality, the challenge. And, you guys know our offense, so it's a challenge every day. So those are three spots that I've really been excited about and where we're at through six practices.
You mentioned Chris Jackson earlier. Do you guys expect him to be eligible this season? I think there was some kind of question about whether he'd be able to come in and play right away.
I'm not an NCAA guy, right? We'll wait and see as we go, but we hope to. That's the value of taking him.
Has there been a clear-cut vocal leader within the defense, or maybe someone right now that you're kind of urging to step into that role for fall?
Yeah, I mean, the first guy that jumps out to me is Trey Brown. You know, his energy, his passion, his voice. Even when on the sideline, you hear him. You know, I think RJ Stone has done a really good job, right, of staying in the moment and just understanding more and more his leadership capabilities. And I think there's a couple injured guys that I'm valuing their leadership and the drive and the culture of what we want to do. Okay, because I know this, Theo. I'm proud of the men that I get to work with every day. Okay, they come to task, they work at it. It's not always perfect. Okay, but their attitudes, their effort, their energy through these first 6 have been phenomenal. Okay, so that doesn't mean we do everything perfect, but I'm proud to coach them. I know our staff feels the same way on our unit, and we're excited about the growth that we want to make together. Okay, and that's the thing. We're a year here now, right, through a lot of adversity, but we've got a bunch of kids that want to work hard and do the right thing. I coach those type of kids every day.
Does it help to have pretty much everyone available right now? Obviously, a few injuries, but you guys don't have as many COVID situations, opt-outs, and I believe the last game, the Utah game, you guys had something like 5 or 6 D linemen available for that game. Is it helpful for your scheme and kind of teaching everything to just know what you have right now and going forward?
There's one way to get better, Theo, and that's to get out there and practice, right? So we emphasize that, but that doesn't start just now, Theo. That's Coach Dwayne and his staff and what these guys have done for 8 weeks in preparation to this point, right? So strength and conditioning just isn't strength, right? It's getting these guys ready for practice and spring ball and conditioning so you don't have those soft tissue injuries, right? So hats off to Coach Dwayne and his staff, and our guys are prepared and ready. And once again, you need to be out there practicing every day, right? I think we've done a good job of valuing the work, right? And our guys are doing that every day, and it's fun to see right now.
You kind of look at last season, what were some of the positive takeaways maybe, and what were some of the things that maybe left a bad taste in your mouth after that Utah game?
Well, I would say this, in a very unusual year, okay, I think the best thing we did, okay, was just set a mentality and a culture. Okay, our guys played hard. Okay, you look at the tape, they're playing hard, right? It definitely wasn't always perfect. It's not where I want it to be, right? It's not where a lot of Coug fans want it to be. But I'm excited about the mentality and the approach, right? And, there's nobody on our roster anymore that doesn't give 100% and isn't about the team, okay? That's going to be, what our fans can be proud of. And, we need to grow from it, right? So it's not the first time we got beat on this play, right? That's got to sting you. That's got to scar you. We talk about it all the time. So you don't get beat by that same play next time, right? So to bring all those guys back, that's going to be the biggest positive, but, we got to stop the run. It's hard and everyone knows that, but we got to make it a part of who we are. We don't see a tight end every day. We got to recreate that. It's a challenge for our defense, and defense is already hard in college football, right? So we got to make it a part of who we are, accept that, and we got to attack things better. And I think we've done that to this point, limiting big plays, and then the red zone efficiency is where we really got to grow. So I'm excited for Thursday and to just have that type of emphasis for that whole practice and just show our guys where that growth can be.